So welcome to my kitchen. I'm going to teach you how to make hummus, the original recipe as taught to me by my mother and her mother before her, and I'm sure her mother before her. So a little bit about hummus. The origin of hummus comes from Egypt, and the word hummus means chickpeas, just plain old little chickpeas. So chickpeas have long been a staple in the Middle East, starting in Egypt, going through Palestine, Jordan, Lebanon, and even all the way to Turkey. And hummus tahini is what I'm going to teach you how to make today. Hummus tahini is just one way that you can use chickpeas. So hummus has now become one of the most favorite dishes, enjoyed in all countries globally, everywhere. And there are so many varieties on the market. But what I'm going to show you is the original recipe, and then you can play around with it, experiment with it, and try different ingredients as additives. I'm sure you've seen all the varieties in the stores. So anyway, so we start with our ingredients. We have 2 cans of chickpeas. Hi, excuse me for one moment.
Could I interrupt just for a second?
What?
Terry Constantino is trying to get on, but she can't find the link. Drew, could you quick email a link to Terry Constantino so she can get on? Thanks.
Oh, thank you, Alan.
Yes, I will do that now.
Thank you. Sorry about that. So in my initial invitation to this class, I asked you to prepare, to gather together 2 cans of chickpeas, some salt.
Excuse me, Janan, what
Yeah?
size can is that? Is it like an 8 ounce or?
This is a 15.5 ounce,
Thank
just
you.
regular can size. Some salt, garlic, very important in Lebanese cooking. Lemon, you can also use jarred lemon juice. And this is the secret ingredient, which is tahini. Now, with chickpeas, the original recipe, normally you use the dried chickpeas. This is a lot easier, obviously, but with dried chickpeas, if you want to use those, you have to soak them overnight with bicarbonate of soda to soften them, and then boil them once, and then cook them until they're cooked and soft. Then you can use them. So, but this is a lot easier. So when you're ready, we're going to open our can of chickpeas. And what we're going to do is we're going to drain it. So what I like to do is open up the can almost to the end. That way the lid is still on. And I drain it in a container. Now, the reason I'm doing this in a measuring cup is I'm going to save the juice, just in case I need to soften the hummus at the end. Once you've drained it, it can go right into your blender, as is. And the can can be rinsed and recycled. And you do the same thing with the second can. Can everybody hear me okay? All right. Again, open it all the way, almost to the end, so the lid stays on. Drain it. And save the juice on the side. Carefully open the can and dump it in your blender or food processor. This can be recycled later on. Now I'm going to do something. I'm going to save just a few chickpeas until the very end, because I'm going to use these to garnish my hummus when I'm done with it. You don't have to do this, but I like to. It adds a little bit of texture and gives some height to the dish, if you like. So next we have our salt. You got 1 teaspoon of salt. It doesn't have to be granularly exact, but 1 teaspoon into the blender. Then we have 2 cloves of garlic. So the way I like to peel my garlic is I take a couple of cloves off the head of garlic. I press the tip onto a hard surface, and that breaks open the clove. And you just peel it. I love garlic. I use it in almost all my cooking. I mush it, I smush it, I chop it, I mince it. Sometimes I use it whole in my cooking. So the important thing about using garlic is you want to chop off the top bit, the hard part where the garlic grows. Okay, and you just pop it in the blender and you do the same thing again. Press it on the hard surface and peel it open. Everybody with me so far? Okay. And then you make sure you cut off that top bit. Okay. And into the blender with the hummus. Next comes, sorry, I was gonna use a bowl underneath this, but I forgot. Next we have lemon juice. Now, as I said, you can use fresh lemon juice, which is really ideal, or you can use jarred, and I do that a lot when I'm, in a hurry. This is my trusty lemon juicer. So you cut the lemon in half and press it down, squeeze it into the juicer. You kind of have to really press hard. So if you're using jarred juice, it's just about 1/4 cup. See? All juiced. And same with the other half. I don't think I've ever done this sitting down. I'm usually standing up and putting my weight on the lemon. It's good exercise. Okay, all done. And my juice goes into the blender with everything else so far. Done. Boom. The last ingredient is the tahini. Now, tahini is made of ground up sesame seeds. And hi, Terry. Thank you for joining us. I'm sorry you had trouble. So tahini is made of ground up sesame seeds, and it is mixed with oil. So when it's sitting on your shelf, it tends to separate. So what you want to make sure you do is make sure you can mix it up as much as you can. Sometimes shaking does it. Some products you need to actually stir really well. So I'm going to do both. I'm going to shake it a little bit, especially if the container is new and there's not a lot of room. And then I'm going to make sure that there are no lumps at the bottom, because that's where all the ground up sesames are. So once you're happy with the consistency, see the lump? So You smooth it out as much as possible. I don't want to lose this stuff. It's good, 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 good. You measure out 4 tablespoons right into the blender. 1, 2, 3, 4. It's a little gooey and messy, but what I like to do is, now it's clean. So tahini, you do not have to refrigerate when you open the container. You can just, it can just sit on your pantry shelf. It lasts for about 6 months. Oh, it's so good. Okay, here we go. All our ingredients are now in our blender. Everybody with me? Ready? Close your blender safely. And now this is going to be noisy on my end because I'm going to turn my food processor on and it's going to blend. Blend on high so that you get the smooth texture of the hummus. Now, if you find it's a little bit dry and it's not rolling over like a smooth paste, this is when you add a little bit, just a little bit of the juice from the can. So as you blend, you can check the consistency and see if you like it. If you think it's too dry or not smooth enough, you can add just drops of the juice from the cans of the chickpeas to get the consistency that you like. Some people like it dry. It dips better. Sometimes you can scoop it better with veggies, but I like the smooth, creamy hummus version. And most of the stores carry that kind, the smooth and creamy one. So here we go again. I think it's where I like it. Now, the most important part now is a taste. Taste it and see if it needs a little more lemon, a little more salt, a little more tahini. I think mine's just about perfect. So now that you've made your hummus, you want to serve it. Now, traditionally, I can see some jumping around there. Traditionally, we serve it in these little bowls and we just scoop it out of the blender into the bowl. Like so. Smooth it around.
My blender isn't working. It won't do it.
Oh, I'm sorry. So now I'm going to use these chickpeas that I reserved to put right in the center. See how pretty it makes it? Like so. And I'm going to drizzle it with some olive oil, just a little bit. Can you see it? And I'm going to add a little bit of parsley, just to give it a green color. Just a hint.
Janan, you may have missed it, but all three of my guys gave you a thumbs up.
Oh, awesome. Thank you. So this is hummus. Now you can also garnish it. I like a little kick to it. So I sometimes garnish it with chili powder on the top, just a little bit, a hint. Not everybody likes that. So when I have people over, I don't do that. And paprika works really well, but not the smoked kind. Just to give it a hint of red. It looks beautiful in the dish. So now you have made hummus. How did yours turn out? Unmute yourselves and tell me.
Mine didn't. I couldn't. It doesn't do anything in my blender. It doesn't turn around to do anything.
No.
I'm
Okay.
sorry, Beverly. I'll have to come and fix your blender and your computer.
Yeah.
Vicky,
I had to use a little mini one, and so I only put a little bit in at a time. I put in
Well,
just a few chickpeas and blended it out, and then took it out and then put more in, and then I just kept mixing it all together.
Well, that's a
That's-
good idea.
That's what I've been trying, but it's not
Oh,
working.
it didn't work? Oh. Mine turned out.
dish, Vicky. Beautiful. Nice. Anyone else? Wow, JP, that's a big,
Oh, I like that.
very nice, Sophia. Awesome, Drew.
Everything looks really good. I'm
Oops.
excited to make it later on.
Good.
It's so
And I
good.
can't, is your friend Jess, is her last name Killalay?
Yeah.
That's my maiden name. I've never heard of anybody else with that name.
Oh, it's a very common Irish name.
Yeah,
like
well, it
Smith
is in
in
Ireland, but I never hear it here.
That's funny, yeah.
Small world. Well, so we talked about the different flavors of hummus that you can experiment with different varieties. You can add things. Some people try to make it with black beans instead of chickpeas, and that's fine. But it's not the original recipe. So the way you can use this is great as a dip. Obviously, you've all tried it as a dip, I'm sure. You can, yeah, there you go, Drew. You can eat it with pita bread or chips of any kind. You can use veggies to dip within it. You can also add small quantities of flavorings like extra garlic. If you want to have an extra garlic variety, you can add an extra clove or two maybe, but no more than that, I don't think. You can add, like I said, the chili that I use. I like that. And you can also add a very small amount of cooked beet to give it a pink color. So I've tried that once, and it's really very pretty to look at in the pink color. So this is how you make hummus. I hope you enjoyed this
This
class.
was great.
It was great. Thank you so much.
Fun showing you how to make it.
There was
I-
one.
I
I'd
thank you,
her-
Janan, but I thank Tata too, and your grandmother.
Yeah.
Yes.
Let Layla know it's delicious.
I will. I'm going to be calling her tomorrow. She made me promise to report back.
Oh, definitely tell her how much fun this was, and we thank her so
Mhm.
much.
Absolutely.
Ooh,
Can I-
we'll take a
can I-
screenshot and you can send it to her.
Yeah.
Can I just put it in a bowl and bring it over to your house sometimes? You can blend it for me?
Sure.
Everybody smile. Everybody hold up your hummus.
It's half
Well,
gone.
mine's still.
Oh, I wish I could.
If you've got it. Okay, 1, 2, 3, go. Okay. I'll send
So
you
the
the
last thing I
screenshot.
wanted to mention, thank you, Vicky. The last thing I wanted to mention is that I know we make quite a bit of hummus. So whatever you don't use in the dish, you can freeze. It freezes really well for up to 6 to 8 months in an airtight container. So, and when you defrost it, All you have to do is add a drop or two of water to blend it again. And there you have your hummus.
Wow.
Yeah, I don't think ours is going to survive the night.
Good, I'm glad.
Thanks.
Sophia, did you enjoy yourself?
Thank you. It's awesome. Thank you.
Oh, man.
Excellent.
I don't know.
Okay.
I'll have to think of a next dish to help
Oh,
you
the
make.
green bean soup. Or
Okay.
the pepper soup, whatever that is. That's so
Green bean
yummy.
stew. I'll think of something.
How
Thank you.
is everyone eating?
Does anyone have any questions?
I want to make falafel.
Ooh. Falafel now, for me, falafel is so complicated, but I found a box version. So I use
What about the tabbouleh?
that. Yeah, yeah,
It'd be good.
these are all great ideas and I'll work on them. Great suggestions.
Okay.
I'll add to that.
Does anyone have any questions?
If anyone, this is an event we could do, anyone, someone else could lead it. If you have a dish like this that could be taught on Zoom like this, that would be a lot of fun. So this is, Janan has set the bar high. So, on the next person, but if you can think of something, chocolate peanut butter balls, Beverly.
Yeah.
Excuse me.
I could do that.
If you have something you'd want to teach like this, that'd be so fun.
I was lucky enough to have an in-person tutorial on that.
We're gonna say goodnight. Thank you, Janan.
Good night,
Thank
Janan.
you.
Thank you for joining us.
Right.
Bye.